Hey y'all, it's Destiny and welcome back or welcome to Destiny Reacts. Thank y'all so much for watching my last video, dropping your comments and opinions down below, and also hitting that like button. I appreciate you. So for the past couple of videos, I went back on Liv's channel and looked at her Q&As, and then I decided let's go on to Chris and Jazz's channel and look at their Q&A. Let's see what they were talking about a year ago as opposed to now. Of course, I had to choose the Q&A that they did where he threw water on her and she got so upset, and I'm just surprised she still has all of this up, honestly. But let's go ahead and get on into this video. So the Q&A hasn't even started yet, and you can already sense the tension between both of them. Now Chris is sitting on the couch and he's in his phone, and Jasmine is trying to set up the camera on her phone, get the live started, and people start coming in and immediately start attacking Chris. One person said, why is Chris in his phone like he doesn't even want to be a part of the Q&A? So once they got 100 people in the live, that's when they started doing the Q&A. And Chris says, well, that's what we were waiting on. That's why I was on my phone, because we were waiting to do the Q&A when 100 people get here. Chris also continuously touches Jasmine's wig. He's trying to flatten it down, trying to do whatever he can do because it's so big, you can barely see him in the back. And then he tries to scoot her over, which was not easy to do. Okay, the first question was, is there anything annoying that he or she does? And it could be something small. Now, Jasmine asked Chris first. He's like, why you gotta ask me first? Let's ask you. But he eventually answers the question and says, Jasmine is so loud for no reason. She's just always loud. She's very loud. Her voice is loud. And he says, you don't even have to be that loud because her voice naturally carries. But she's always yelling. That's definitely the truth, because we have seen so many lives of her yelling at the kids, so many videos of her yelling. It's just ridiculous. It's too much yelling. I agree with him. Somebody in the comments also reminded them of what else Jasmine does that annoys Chris, and it's calling him Christopher. And he hates that because it takes him back to when he was a kid, and his mom would call him Christopher when he was getting in trouble, but Chris would be for any other time. So he hates being called Christopher, and Jasmine does that a lot. So as we can see, the thing that really gets on Jasmine's nerve that Chris does is he does not know how to stack the dishwasher right. And he's also putting bibs in the dishwasher. Never heard of that? If you do that, let me know. Also, keep in mind that this is the time that they were saying he doesn't live with her, when, of course, we've seen him every single day, every time of the day, but they're still saying they don't live together at this point. So Jasmine also says that Chris annoys her when they sleep together. He says she snores. So that gets on her nerves. But Chris is like, wait a minute. So it annoys you when I tell you that you snore? It annoys me when you snore. Chris says he cannot sleep when she is snoring so loud. And you know what Jasmine told him to do? Take some melatonin. Jasmine's solution is always going to be melatonin. We already know this. So Chris says when he comes over there and he stays the night, sometimes he'll cuddle with her, he'll lay up with her. But when it's time to go to sleep, he needs to go to sleep. He said he loves sleep. He's always been that way. So he also compared her to a grizzly bear and saying that's what she sounds like when she sleeps. This Q&A is hilarious because they're just arguing at this point. Like, they're just arguing. Supposed to be answering the questions. This is why they should have just, should have went live first. They should have did a video where they can cut stuff out. Chris also admits to having a video of Jasmine snoring so that he could show her and prove that he wasn't lying about it. And he told Jasmine, hey, can I show them and prove that you snore? And she's like, I don't care. I don't care. Now, the infamous question about baby number 5. Somebody asked, are you guys saving up for baby number 5 just in case the baby comes sooner rather than later? Guess what they said? Chris quickly said, next question. But then he said, okay, there's not no baby 5 coming anytime soon. Jasmine says, well, it wouldn't even be baby number 5 anyway. And she proceeds to try to count in her head how many kids he has plus how many kids she has, and then what baby number this would really be. And just so y'all know, if you didn't know already, obviously Jasmine has 4 kids, Chris has 3 kids, so this would have been, well, this will be now, because we're in the future, right? This will be baby number 8. So while Jasmine is calculating in her head what number baby this would be, Chris says, we are not having a baby right now. We are waiting until we get married. Once we get married, then we will plan baby number 5. But other than that, there will be no babies anytime soon. Jasmine doesn't say anything after that, and they kind of go back to arguing about the snoring thing again. And so yeah, let's move on to the next question. The next question is, how does being with Chris take certain burdens off of you? For example, being a full-time mother and financially. Jasmine said, he really helps a lot with the kids. He allows me to sit down, edit a video, record, and he handles the kids, he cooks, he cleans. He does basically all of the domestics in the house, yeah. He basically does everything that a stay-at-home mother would do that, doesn't have a job. Jasmine didn't say anything about the financial situation or if he even helps her financially at all. He just helps her run the house. The next question was, why did Chris say he doesn't approach women? And Jasmine was very confused. Like, did you say that? You said you didn't approach women? And he was like, what? And then she said, it says, why don't you not approach women? And he was like, well, I don't. He said that's always been him. He has never been the person to walk up to a woman, ask her out, or any of that. Either his friends tell him a woman is interested in him, or he goes and tells his friends to tell another woman he's interested or whatever, but he's never the one that actually approaches a woman. And he says, obviously, Jasmine approached him first on Facebook. Somebody asked Chris if he whoops Jasmine's kids, and he said, no, he doesn't even whoop his own kids. Why would he do that? No, he does not whoop her kids. This is when Chris tells us that when he was a kid, he got abused severely, and that is why he does not whoop his kids or anything. He talks to them. He does say he is firm with his kids, but he does not need to whip them. Now, there was also another question that Jasmine really wanted Chris to answer. You could tell. She kept telling him, I think you should answer this, to a certain extent. Just answer it. You should go ahead and answer this question. And then she reads the question, and it says, how do Chris and Philip know each other? And I feel like that answer would clear up the Asia and Chris thing. Now, if you don't know who Asia is, she is another baby mom to Philip, which we all know Philip and Jasmine were together. Well, what happened is Philip was had Asia in a type of profession that's frowned upon, and that is where she met Chris, and supposedly they had their thing, and they exchanged the money. Now, this is why Jasmine really wants to clear up that Asia and Chris do not know each other, but Asia and Philip are saying a different thing. But let's see what Chris says to this question. Chris says, I don't like speaking on this man because he's not here. That used to be his famous line every time somebody would bring up Philip. Does he not realize he's with Jasmine? You're going to be talking about Philip at some point. So Chris says he only knows Philip because they played basketball at the gym. Now, that's where he met him, when they were playing basketball. Chris has his people that he would play basketball with. Philip had his people, and they would just go play basketball. But he never had a conversation with him where he sat down, talked about his life, talked about what he had going on. It was none of that. So he didn't say anything about Asia in that comment, but okay. And the next question was, why does Philip not feel comfortable, or he doesn't want Chris around the children? And Jasmine says, well, don't believe everything you hear. Philip knows that Chris is here, and he's okay with that. And Chris cuts her off and says, well, I'm not here. The next question was, what did Mama Dukes and Jasmine's brother think of Chris the first time they met him? Chris answered this question and said Keyshawn told him, take care of his sister, and they dapped it up. Then he says, for Mama Dukes, it was love at first sight. Chris says that Mama Dukes welcomed him with open arms, and she noticed his vibe, whatever that means, and she texted Jasmine later that day and said that they both like him. Now, after this, there was a lot of questions that Chris continued to say, next question, meaning he did not want to answer them. I don't know why. One of them was, do you plan on leaving the city? You could have just said no. He said next question on that one. I don't know. I thought that was weird. I really wanted to know what this channel is supposed to be about because they never really specify. But in this video, they did say, well, Chris said he wants it to be a pranking channel where he pranks Jasmine, and he wants ideas of ways that he can prank her. Another question was, who said I love you first? Now, at first Chris did not remember it, but then he said he thinks it was Jasmine. Then Chris tells us the story. They were talking one day, and Jasmine tells him, I think I love you. And Chris says, you know what? It's funny that you say that because I've been feeling the same way, but I didn't want to say anything. And do y'all remember when everybody kept looking at Chris and saying in the comments, like, why is he always wearing red? Every time we see him in a video, in a live, he's always wearing a red shirt. What is up with the red? Yeah, they talked about that too. So Jasmine's answer to this is, it takes her a long time to post a video. And she says he definitely changes clothes. It just takes her a long time to post. So it seems like he's wearing the same thing all the time. They even talked about in this video where they give each other hickeys at. I mean, this information is just too much. I don't think anybody asked these questions. But if you do want to know, Jasmine said Chris said Jasmine gave him 2 on the back of his neck. And Jasmine says Chris gave her 1 on her shoulder. Do y'all remember at the end of this live stream, Chris wanted to pull off Jasmine's wig for some reason? He said he doesn't like them. He doesn't understand why she wears them. And he wanted to pull it off. He said that Jasmine looks beautiful without wigs. And she has long, beautiful hair. And she would even look good bald. He just doesn't like the wigs. This is when he starts getting really aggressive and kind of upset that he is not able to pull her wig off. He reminds us of the time before where he wanted to pull her wig off while she was on live. And everybody in the comments said no. And this makes him really upset. He says that if one person in the chat right now says, do it, he will pull her wig off on camera. Why is Chris so obsessed with pulling Jasmine's wig off on camera? What is the reason? Why? Is he just wanting to embarrass her or something? That's the only thing that comes to mind. Because Jasmine does not want to be seen without it, at this moment at least. But he just continues to say how much he wants to pull it off. I don't get the joke. This is when Chris grabs the water bottle and says if people tell him to do it, he will throw that water on her. And it's just like, why? What was the reason? He just wants to embarrass her. That's the only conclusion I have for that. Why do you think he wanted to throw water on her so bad and take her wig off? Let me know down in the comments.
I'm sorry. You give me no kiss? You give me no kiss?
After Chris pours that water on her, he says this is just a sneak peek. So I guess he's planning on doing a lot of things like this on the channel. But obviously, Jasmine got pregnant, so he hasn't been doing any pranks on her that we've seen. But maybe he will start back up after she delivers. The whole water situation was just crazy. I don't understand why he wants to pull her wig off. But this is the man Jasmine chose, so maybe she likes it. I don't know. But you have to let me know what you thought of all of this in the comments. What do you think of Jasmine and Chris together? What do you think of this live stream? Let me know. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will definitely see you in the next one.